Welcome to the Man 360 podcast.
So thanks for listening to the Man 360 podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today, only a few times a season on the television program, but for today on the podcast, I talked to Yolanda, my lovely wife, executive producer, president of my company, and president of my life. We just got back from a really, what felt like a long trip overseas. And I told her, I said, everybody, when we talk to them, we tell them what we do. And they say, well, where have you been? And we say, well, this is where we've been. And then we say it. And it's not a big deal, I don't think, in our minds when we're doing it because it's just a part of life. But then they're like, wow. So I thought it'd be really interesting to sit and just to talk a little bit with Yolanda about some of the things that we did on our trip, this last trip that we just did. Talk about some of the failures, maybe some of the things that we could do better.
We had a few.
And we normally don't have those.
We normally don't, but this trip we did.
It is so crazy. And the fact that when something doesn't go right on a trip, it's probably more shocking for us because normally, and we're not bragging.
Oh, we've been doing it a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So, and this is a pretty long trip. And also I'll talk a little bit about the timing of us getting into the trip and then after the trip. And I mean, the fact that we're down here in Florida now, after Thanksgiving and after the trip. But so this is my lovely wife and the president of the network, Yolanda.
Hello.
And so we want to talk today.
I'm nursing a little bit of a sore throat thingy, so my voice is a little different this time.
That actually, which is funny, we start out with that. That was the last about day and a half of the trip, was me getting sick, and I just started feeling rough. My throat was really bad. We were on our last stop. We were going to do some filming for Man 360. We were going to take, because it was over a weekend, we were going to take a day off.
We'll get into that when we get there.
No, I just want to commiserate about my throat right now. So,
but I did not get as sick as you. You were very sick, and I'm kind of on the up, and I didn't hardly get anything. So.
Oh, wow. Is that because you're the president?
No, it's because I take supplements every day, and you don't.
Right. That's right. So the vice president only gets a certain level of sickness, and the president. So
I take care of my body.
So to set up this trip a little bit, I wanted to share with people where we went, how far we went, flight miles. So we were in 4 countries. We were in the UK, London specifically, the whole time in that area. We were in Nepal and Kathmandu at our orphanage. We were in India. 2 different major cities that we hung out in. Then we were in Singapore, which is the only country that has the city in the
It's not the only country.
But I thought it was funny. I was like, I asked Yolanda, I said, what's the capital of Singapore? And she's like, yes.
Singapore.
So we spent some time in Singapore. In 20 days, we did 24,000 flight miles. Yeah. And that was minus even all of our driving and even, goofing around or whatever in each of those locations too.
4 countries, 9 airplanes, 20 days, 24,000 miles.
And it was...
I don't know that we've ever done a trip like that.
Well, and it was so funny. So Yolanda, whenever we talk about travel, I'll give everybody a little insight into the Morris family. She starts wringing her hands together and she gets this little glint in her eye because she's so happy that we get to travel.
I love travel.
And she's like, guess what we're going to do? 4 countries in 20 days. And I was like, okay, is that a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing was a ministry trip. And when you're over there and you're traveling so far, you want to make sure to get everything in because we're not going to be back over there for a while. And so there was a lot that we had to do ministry-wise. The Singapore part of it, that's where the layover was for our trip coming back home. And so I just, because it was over a weekend, I extended it for a couple of days so that you and I could just see Singapore. I added my 46th country was Singapore. I think you're
29.
29, I think.
So I got to get one more.
Yeah. But that's why we did Singapore.
Right.
We would have just landed there and had 12-hour layover. I just extended it for a couple days.
Boring.
And then we paid for that personally to be able to stay there.
Right. So when we were in London, we are, and if people don't know, if you've been keeping up with CTN at all, if you don't, we actually have a channel over there that we have partnered with, similar to Roku in the United States. They have Freeview and the other Freely is the other one. And then Freeview, it's channel 279. Freely is channel 582. If they're in London or in the UK.
Anywhere in the UK. Yeah. So Ireland, Scotland, Wales.
Which we've been to all those. I haven't been to Wales.
You've never been to Ireland or Scotland?
Yeah, I went to Ireland. Remember
Oh,
in our
that's right.
last
You
trip?
did Ireland.
Okay, stop
So
keeping me down.
Scotland and
Stop
Wales.
keeping me down.
You've never been to Scotland.
Stop keeping me down.
But
do
I
want to go
have.
to Scotland and like it's what they do. And it said, oh, it's Scotland. So
Oh, there might be some people offended by that right
I
now.
know. I'm sorry. But I'll wear a kilt in their honor to make up for it.
Yes.
So, but we were in London. We connected with Petra, who's
Uh-huh.
our connection, and the lady that talked to us
She's
said,
the one that we have our deal with to go on to Freeview and Freely. We're on her Purpose Media platform.
yep. And we were in London for 5 days.
I think so.
I think it was 5
Yeah.
days. We hung out. We went to a show.
In the evening.
In the
yeah.
evening, so and I think what's really important too, I guess, and we do want to talk about the do's and don'ts, I think, of travel. So when you do ministry travel, I think it's important to think about, do your ministry work, but also rest a little bit, enjoy the country that you're in. I think sometimes too, we get so stuck on just the ministry aspect, and there's nothing wrong with doing ministry. That's obviously what we do with
And
CTM.
we go hard during the day. Yeah.
But if you don't relax, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, I think we enjoy our marriage, we enjoy hanging out with one another. And even the tube system, we felt pretty professional using the tube, which was fun.
Tube is fun.
Yeah, we found
We made
out,
one mistake.
We did. So we went from a tube.
That's part of this podcast is we want to tell our mistakes.
No, let's just talk about your mistakes. We don't need to talk about any of my mistakes.
Yeah, this one was you. The other one was me. This one is
So
you.
we were getting on there's the below ground tube, and then there's the above ground train that are a part of the tube system.
And the tube, and if you've never been to London, there's layers of the tube. So there's a tube that's just right underground. And then there's another one. If you go on one of the other ones, it's like 3 layers underground.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, to think how far underground you are.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And even it's so well developed. I mean, and it stops at pretty much everywhere,
It's
anywhere
so
you want to
good.
go.
Yeah.
I can remember, so then the
But
train.
what was our mistake that we made?
Our mistake was I was
We
so
went the
sad
wrong
that
direction.
Oh, okay, that's right. We ended up going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I got on a train. So on the tube, when you're at the tube, you're either going one direction or the other. You're either going to east or west, north or south. With the trains, there's multiple lines above, so you have to watch where you're going and what the
Which
final
train is coming
destination.
in?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we got on the wrong train.
We were going to a dinner reservation.
And we
We
missed
went
it
the wrong
because we
We
went
got on the wrong train. Yeah.
right. So we had to go down one
Yeah.
more. And I'll say this: I say this in hiking, I'll say this in travel. Don't try to keep your head.
Yeah.
Don't. If you make a mistake,
It's okay.
you're going to make it worse if you get
Yeah.
nervous or you get excited or because you magnify everything instead of just pausing, because then you can make more mistakes.
Yeah. Well, and then we finally got there and we had called the restaurant and we're like, we're going to be 10 minutes late. They're no problem. They redid our reservation. And then we got to where the vicinity of the restaurant was and we could not find the entrance.
So it
We
ends
couldn't
up
find the entrance.
it ends up in a train station
Yeah.
in a central London area. It's around where the theater that we were going to, which is great. That was why we're going to have dinner there. And Yolanda showed me pictures. She's like, it's this
I'm
really
like, this
cool
is neat
restaurant. It's
restaurant.
neat. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, where in the heck do we get? There was
could
no
not
steps
find the
up
entrance.
on the second level. So we ate at this little, it was like a fresh fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
It was good,
It was okay.
but I was just like, I just felt like a failure.
But it was, I'm like, whatever, we got food and let's move on. So we try not to deeply internalize it and just let it go. And you're like, I messed that up. I'm like, it's okay. It's not a
Right.
big deal.
And I appreciate that Yolanda said that. So don't think that, Yolanda and I are like the ultimate professionals of travel. Even we make mistakes.
We do.
And
My mistake was kind of a big mistake that in Singapore.
was trusting me. Oh, no.
No,
Oh,
in
yeah, Singapore. That was
Let's
fine.
talk about that.
So real quick, we met with and connected with
Yeah.
Dr. Brad and Wyona.
Oh, man.
What a
Incredible
supernatural. It was
Yeah.
like a perfectly godly timed.
Yeah.
It was through Pastor Rodney, Rodney Hard Brown. We had talked
they're
to him.
licensed with Pastor Rodney.
Licensed and connected with Rodney with all the River Church stuff. And, we were over there and we wanted to connect with a pastor. And we connected with them. They said, hey, let's have dinner. I guess they had saw us when we were
Yep.
with Pastor Rodney. He had us come
At
up
his
on the
pastor's
stage.
conference, we
Yep.
talked on stage, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you guys up there." And so we went to we had dinner with them. We got actually kicked out of the restaurant. We were there for so long.
Well, they said, do you want to have dessert? And we were like, no. And then they're like, well, you need to leave. Which is
We
totally,
were there like
that
2.5
That would
hours.
never happen in the U.S., which is so funny. In London, they're like, you're taking a table,
you
so
need
get
to
out.
leave. But there was such a camaraderie, spiritually, a kinship with them that we just had a great time. So we went to the restaurant next door and had dessert.
Yeah,
and,
which
and
was
like coffee and hot chocolate.
But it was so great because going to church, Dr.
We went
Yolanda
on Sunday.
actually spoke because they have 5 campuses.
5 campuses around
the area.
London, not in London proper, but.
And they rotate, so they're,
they're
kind of going
staff.
around different staff. They're, and so Dr. Brad was at a different church that morning, so we were able to hang out with Wyona. And then we actually made plans for this next year, for 2025, to do a couple of trips. We have a ministry in May that they wanted us to speak at and connect with. And then there was another youth connection that they were going to do.
Yeah,
later
so
in the
we're
year,
going to be going over there and doing conferences and festivals. Have a CTN table over there.
Yeah,
we just want to get the word out about Christian television and programming there, and so we're going to just represent CTN, and so we've made some really good contacts.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had fish and chips.
Yep.
We went to the National Gallery and the Portrait Gallery there. That was fun.
Because we were there over a weekend, so we got to do that on Saturday.
And that's a free gallery. You have to stand in line a little bit to get into the gallery.
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to do was see Princess Catherine's portrait.
Yeah, portrait.
Because there was this big reveal and everything.
Yolanda's like a big royal person.
I've always been.
And I'm like, let's just party like it's...
such a sweet couple.
Yeah, I'm like, let's just party like it's 1776, America. And Yolanda's like, I love the royals. And where's this picture of Kate? And
so we asked at the gallery, at the
hysterical.
portrait gallery, and they're like, oh, it went into storage, but here's a little picture of her. And I was like...
It's a photo. It wasn't even a painting. It was a photo. And she was walking on the beach or something.
I was like, really? Like you did this big reveal and then you went and put it in storage?
Oh, that's the reason why we seeded from Britain. So probably.
Is that the reason?
Probably. We had fish and chips.
Uh-huh.
I had texted my friend
Mark
delicious. Davies. We always go to get Pastor Mark and I always go get fish and chips when we're in Denver. So, and then we went to Harrods.
We did.
To go get some food. They have a whole grocery store market area.
We just got some
it was really
extravagant stuff that we tried and it was delicious.
I told Yolanda, without getting into the details of it, it was like Harrods was just so over the top to me.
Over the top extravagance.
Like, no, it's ridiculous.
It is.
I mean, it's like, I told Yolanda, I said, when we were there, I feel like it's like Pan Am of Hunger Games. Like they just eat to excess, then they throw up, and then they just kind of like have this kind of perception of that. And this is the thing.
It's a beautiful department store.
It's been there forever.
Specific things and you want high-end things, that's your place.
So
we walked around a little bit on some of the floors, but
I just was like,
extravagant.
I told Yolanda, she was like, well, do you want to go to, I'm like, no, let's just get some food and go out.
Yeah, so we got food and then we went outside and just people watched.
Yeah, we love people watching.
Great.
That's one of that's like actually one of the fun things we like to do when we take trips to everywhere. So then we went to Nepal. We went through Doha, Qatar, which is a huge airport.
Yeah.
One thing that we did with Doha I was going to mention, we flew on Qatar Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have airlines that will have like a concierge person that will meet you at the gate. Yeah. It's about $50 to $75 per person if you want to do that. The previous time that we'd flown through Doha was amazing. We had a person that came and got us at the gate. Yeah. They walked us to the gate.
And we did that because it was like 2:00 in the morning and there was a lot of different things that... So we tried it again. This one didn't work out as well.
Yeah, this girl, she was really nice, really friendly. And then she says, well, meet us back here.
We just sat there. Down.
She's like, I'll come back and get you, and I'll come back and bring you to and then she never did.
Never showed up.
And we were like, we just walked to the gate.
We made our way to the gate. And
the one thing, too, that if you don't know this, if you travel overseas, is that there's not like, they don't really use like the group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, whatever. It's like once they know the gate's open, every single person rushes.
Every person lines up.
And when you get this concierge person, they will help you get and walk you past everybody to get you into the plane right away. So you kind of are like easier. A level 1 boarding. So it's just easier we were trying to do that. So anyways, we were in Nepal, ate at one of our favorite restaurants, Sing Ma.
Always.
We love Sing Ma.
They're missionaries there, yeah.
We had a barbecue with the kids. We always try to do something like that with the kids at the home there. We gave away 4 or 6 Bibles. To 6 the kids, so share what we do for the kids.
So when our kids graduate from high school, we give them study Bibles.
Study Bibles.
Because now they're older and stuff, and they cherish them. They love them, and we make sure they're really great. Normally we buy them in Nepal, but it's been harder and harder to find them. So we actually bought them here and brought them in.
We lugged the suitcase over. It was like 50 pounds or something to carry on.
And they were just so excited about that. And if you want to know more about the orphanage, you can go to ctnonline.com and look for Nepal. There's a page on there that tells all about it. But we got 4 new girls this year.
Yep.
Little girls. And we had so much fun with them, played with them. They love Uno. There's a really great, I'll probably put it on the website, this sweet little picture with you holding one of the little girl's hands as we were doing
She kept coming up to me, wanted to hold my
bonfire.
hand and walk around.
She was wanting to play tag.
Yeah.
She's like, chase me. And just so cute.
And she's one of the best Uno players as well. Our kids
She
love
was,
Uno over
yeah.
there.
So we had a great time. And then from there, we flew to India. And there was a couple of things that we wanted to do in India. We had never been. Our manager is from India. We actually taped show for Man 360 season 5 that's coming out. We taped things Brian doesn't want to do. We got Saji to do it with you. I'm not going to tell what it is.
If you can't see me, I'm shaking my head no, because it was...
And then we did an interview with Saji. He's been our manager for 22 years at the orphanage. He's amazing. And just has 46 churches in India that he oversees.
Yeah.
And then you did a podcast with him that I think has already
Just
come
played.
out.
Yep,
Yeah.
previously played.
So you can go back and listen to that. But we wanted to see his work that he's established. And so that was one of the reasons for going. The other reason for going is we have one of our girls in nursing school there. And we were bringing one of our other girls to nursing school. So we actually had the privilege of traveling with her, being on the airplanes the first time she'd ever flown. And
she did really good, too.
She did. She was a little nervous, but she did really good. And we flew her down to southern Bangalore, India. And so you tell about what we did with Meena.
So Meena is one of the girls that...
She's already there.
If you follow me on Instagram or anything, me personally, I had a picture of a girl that we had seen when we had first been going there. When she first came to the home. Then when she was a little bit older, because I was holding her hand at each of these times. Because one time we were walking back from soccer, another time we were out, and she was tiny. She was a little bit bigger. And then so we, kind of the backstory, we college educate all of our kids. So we don't just bring them through high school and then just release them into the world. We give them a trade, or we say, what do you want to do? So she was a nursing student down there in Bangalore. When we came in there, we told Saji and Hannah, we're like, we want to hide at the Starbucks behind this corner, and then you walk Meena, because Meena didn't know that we were coming.
Nobody told her.
Nobody told her. So Meena walked by, and then we go, Yolanda, lean over, go, Meena.
We're like, Meena, what are
you
doing here?
And she freaked out.
She started crying.
She was like, and then
hugs.
she kept looking at Hannah and Saji and jumping up and down. And she came over and came back over and gave us a hug a couple times.
Yeah.
And it was just good to spend time. I told Yolanda this. We always do such quick trips to Nepal and go over and just, check on everybody, connect and make sure that
we do
Saji
activities with them and stuff.
It's
we
true.
go every 16 to 18 or 24 months.
Yeah. But, it's good to check and just ask Saji and Hannah, do they need anything? They can communicate directly with us if they need anything. But this was great because it was kind of like seeing that next phase of the kids and helping them into really adulthood. Because a lot of the kids that we've come back and visited that are older have already been in doing what they're doing. Right. And then we just come back and say, hey, hope you're good, So it was more personal. I thought it was fun.
It was great. We took Meena, and then Prasamsa is the one that we were dropping off. We took them to dinner. So it was really good one-on-one time. And, Prasamsa's a little nervous and going. And so we went shopping, got her some new clothes and did some things. It was just fun to drop one of our kids off at school and getting ready to do what she loves. And so she's excited about
Yolanda
going to nursing school.
I think too for Yolanda, like we kind of live vicariously through our kids because we don't have kids. But, Yolanda was a teacher forever. We were youth pastors forever. So we have spiritual kids really all over the country, and now really the world with these kids. And I talked with Saji that we don't consider them orphans; they're part of our children's home, and that they're our kids. So we've really invested that time in them. But we were able as well when we went down in that area, able to teach at the girls. Saji does like a training school like for trade, and then also does some pastoral kind of ministry. Helping girls. We actually helped a girl walk through some deliverance stuff who's dealing with some things there as well. So it's not just a trade and it's not just teaching, but it's also just kind of spiritually helping them walk through that.
And Brian and I taught classes.
Yep.
I taught on how to be a resilient woman.
Yep.
And that was super fun. We had a great time. And then you preached in 2 different churches.
Yep.
So one of the churches we went to was in a village where there's tea farms everywhere.
Yep.
And so one of the things that CTN did is we brought some money over and we paid for carpet for the church because in India and Nepal, they take their shoes off when they enter into
cold
a sanctuary.
Floor.
And so they were doing that on concrete. So we gave money
Yep.
for carpet and then for screens in the windows. In the summer, it's really hot. They have to
bugs.
keep the windows open and the bugs come in.
All
so,
the things we take for granted in America.
Yeah.
It was
So we
pretty
got to
simple.
bless a church and then we got to go to a tea garden. One of the people that attend that church, he's a farmer there and he sells his tea to this factory. And it's not a
Normal
factory
people don't
that
get to
they
get
get to
into-
go
yeah.
into.
So we shot some video footage and
you will see that in Man 360.
Man 360 was
yeah.
fun. And then we went to lunch at a British
Yeah.
tea farm,
It was called
Mayfair Tea Resort.
Yep.
And they actually have destination weddings in India. That's a really big deal. Actually, we had a wedding that we were driving around. They had this is kind of a side note. In the middle of the night, we're driving through on the street. They're doing this big parade.
Oh my gosh.
And we're driving around people that are standing and walking and marching. They had these parasols, and they were celebrating this thing. And the whole point of it is that they're stopping and they're distracting traffic to be like, hey, they're married, so, here's the
It was
parasol.
crazy. I've
It was
never
hilarious.
experienced anything like that. I want to say something. So
Yes.
the people that are doing our podcast, they're trying to have us wrap up. We have one more thing we want to talk about.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
So I'm going to
This
let
may be
them
a little bit
know.
longer than
This is
normal.
going to be longer than normal.
Because Yolanda's on and she's the boss and she can do what she
No,
wants
but
to do.
you know what? This trip was very fascinating.
It was.
But it was great. And so, yes, we went to this tea place. We had tea, and then we walked around, and you'll get to see some of that.
Very
in
sweaty.
Man
Everywhere was
360.
sweaty.
Oh, it was hot.
So sweaty.
Yeah.
Everywhere was sweaty.
So
India
let's-
sweaty.
So from there, we went to Singapore. We want to finish up with Singapore.
Singapore.
So, my husband has driven around in other countries. He's driven in Mexico, South Africa, which is on the wrong side of the road, or the other side of the road.
The
I'm not
wrong
gonna say
side?
the wrong
Oh.
side. You've driven in, where else have you driven? You've driven in other countries, Costa Rica, which is always an experience.
That's ridiculous. So Costa Rica, side note, has merge lanes where they just are like, hey, these 2 lanes are going to be one now, and there's no signs for merge.
merging.
It's like you just merge.
Yeah. So I was like, fine, he can handle driving, no problem. I booked a car on our personal expense because it was over a weekend, and yeah,
It was horrible.
I shouldn't have done that.
So they said once we went to it was Sixt was the one, and
Yeah.
we've rented from there.
We have, and they're great.
We rented in Amsterdam as well.
Yeah.
From Sixt. Sixt is a really good overseas, what we've experienced, very upfront with the costs.
Yeah.
Some other ones, like when we rented in Costa Rica, they're like, oh, by the way, you have to pay another $400. And it was like dollar, it was like a reputable one that you have here in the States. But there's other insurances that you sometimes need when you're overseas. Anyways, we rented the car. The lady was like, do you have one of these cards? And we're like, why do we need one of those cards? Like, we're good. We're not going to go, driving the whole countryside. And she's like, well, basically anywhere that you park, you need this card, and then you need to load it with money. And then once you load it,
And to drive
drive
on the highways,
on
most of their
the
highways are
EBT
tolls.
EBT is their
Yeah.
toll. And then the hilarious thing is there's not like full-time tolls. There's sometimes tolls, and then depending on whatever they want to
And
turn it
she
on.
wouldn't sell us a card. She's like, you have to get this at like at a 7-Eleven
And
or a
she
gas
had,
station.
Yolanda, too. I looked in that drawer. She had a stack of like 50 of those cards in there. It's like she
I
could have been like,
have no
here's your
idea what
card.
happened.
She goes, we need to go to a 7-Eleven and load this. And then we're like, well, what if we have extra money left over? And she goes, too bad.
There's no way to
There's
get
no
your
way to
money
get your money
off the
back
card.
off it. So do I do 100?
And then we're
do I
like,
do
well,
50?
how much does it cost? And she's like, well, there's just no way to know.
So we rented this car. It was like $400 and
We
some
rented the
dollars, our own money.
Yes.
We drove it to
This
the
was
hotel.
not network money.
So we drove it to the hotel, we parked it, and it sat there for 3 days while we took public transportation.
We were out several $100s.
with taxis.
So
and
Singapore
it was
has
hilarious.
great public transportation.
Listen to me. Do not rent a car in
You don't need
Singapore.
to.
You don't need to. Taxis are great, and
I'm
they have
sure
an app that you
everybody
can
just
download.
loved that loudness that you just
No,
did
Rick
into the
Rick
microphone.
modified that because he's excellent. He's amazing. I'm
But
trying to make a point.
Taxis are cheap.
Hey, did I mention don't rent a car in Singapore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taxis are inexpensive. We went to Gardens by the Bay.
Yep.
And one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Well, but this is the problem. It's Man 360.
Everybody should go.
It's men. But you know what was funny?
It was beautiful.
I did enjoy the rainforest thing. I thought that was kind of stupid. But the actual like flower area, because they had a Monet exhibit. I have an art degree as well,
Yeah.
so that was fun. And they do impressions of Monet.
It was immersive.
It was an immersive experience. So like the Van Gogh traveling, the travel experience.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it was just I think we had a great time.
That was great. And the other thing we did, I don't know if our listeners know this, but there is a Universal Singapore.
And it rained almost every moment while we were there, downpoured.
We went to Universal Studios Singapore.
Yeah. And I was trying to buy a shirt or something, because when you go, you're not going to go back.
They're very small people there.
They're very microscopic.
Brian cannot find clothes.
And for whatever reason, I gained a couple pounds recently, and I didn't fit any shirt. And I was like, I'm going to waste my money, or I could do a gold shirt, I guess. Yeah. But it was bad.
But so Universal was fun. We did that on Saturday, and
they have pretty much the same rides at the other Universals. They have like Transformers.
There was a couple.
The Mummy ride. There were some other ones that were very similar to ones that had some shows. It was good. But the Gardens by the Bay, that was I think that was my favorite thing.
Everybody should go to that.
Then we also tried, this is the last thing, we tried to do the Changi Airport.
Oh, yeah.
There's a mall there.
Yeah.
Like 220 shops. It's integrated into the airport, which is so ridiculous. Like you're walking in the terminal airport
So it's on
piece.
not the air side. It's on the land side.
Land side.
Yeah.
But okay, so it's really strange. So you're walking basically you have your bags, you just got off the airplane, you're walking into like where the car rental place was. And if you just keep walking, it just turns into a mall. And then this mall is
people are walking through the mall with their suitcases and everything.
Yeah, and they have restaurants or whatever.
It's like 3 levels.
So we walked the mall. We were going to do some things there.
We ate dinner the first night.
We ate dinner. We ate at an amazing place called Burger and Lobster.
Oh, that was the last night.
Night. And we were, because Yolanda had set this up and she goes, we're going to eat at this really good place. I had not really had red meat the whole time. I had eaten a lot of chicken.
Well, you can't buy beef in India. So.
Right. Well, in India. Yeah. But in Nepal you can. Which we didn't.
We don't.
We don't.
No.
So anyways, we ate this amazing burger, had a giant hunk of lobster on the top of it.
Yeah,
It wasn't super expensive.
You had a burger. So the title of the restaurant is Burger and Lobster.
And I had
you had a lobster burger. So it was beef and lobster on the same burger.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was delicious. So,
and it's one of the well-known restaurants in the Changi.
Well, we were trying to do some things there in the Changi airport, and the Jewel is what it's called.
Yeah.
I told Yolanda maybe we'll do a stop through and still make it a part, maybe like a season 6 or 7 of Man 360. We could still do it,
but everything was booked up.
You have to schedule it. Yeah, so if you're going to do anything in the airport,
we didn't know that.
You've got to go online. If you know about this, you got to do it online before. So,
yeah,
but it was a
and we
trip.
Walked around. There was a place to walk around and they through the forest and stuff. So
which
that was
good.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. So, well, thanks for being on the podcast, Yolanda.
Yeah, I just traveling is fun, and if we can give some tips and tricks and things to do and not do, things to look forward to, Man 360 season 5 is going to be really, really great.
It's going to be
good. We've had fun filming it. We have a few more things left to film, but it comes out the first week of March.
Hopefully.
It will.
That's what we're planning.
It will.
That's what we're planning.
Yes.
We'll see.
And these podcasts, we've had fun. We have another podcast we're getting ready to do next week. And
should be fun.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for being here and listening to the Man 360 podcast. You can go on Instagram and also onto Facebook if you'd like to follow us on Man 360 and connect with us. You can also go to ctnonline.com and check out the Amplify section, and you can do a connection there for either Apple or Spotify, and you can click on that and actually be subscribed so that you know when new podcasts come out. So again, thank you for being here and listening to the podcast today. Yolanda, thank you for being here
on the
podcast.
Pleasure.
And wonderful. Have a great day. Thanks.